भगवान् भगः नन्दी वनमाली हलायुधः आदित्यो ज्योतिरादित्यः सहिष्णुः गतिसत्तमः भगवान् भगः आनन्दी वनमाली हलायुधः आदित्यः ज्योतिरादित्यः सहिष्णुः गतिसत्तमः Bhagavan. Bhagavan is one who has six divine glories. Aishwaryasya samagrasya dharmasya yashasakha shriyah gnana vairagyastaiva shannam bhaga itirana. This is what Vishnu Purana says. The word bhaga, according to Vishnu Purana, means one who has all the six great glories, great qualities. These are Aishwarya, wealth; Dharma, righteousness; Yashaha, fame; Sampada, character; Gnana, knowledge; Vairagya, that is dispassion. One who has all these six great qualities is called Bhagavan. One who has all the six glorious glories within himself is Bhagavan, and these great mighty powers automatically come to him because his equipment is the total mind. Again, Vishnu Purana says he is named Bhagavan as he knows the beginning and end of the universe. He knows about the arrival and departure of beings, and he also knows about what is Vidya and what is Avidya. At the time of great dissolution, such Bhagavan withdraws all wealth. Actually, the word used is destroy. Bhaga ha. Destroy means, in a way, withdraws. Withdraws within himself. All the names and forms get absorbed in him. Bhagaha. One who dissolves, absorbs during the deluge all these six glories which are always there with him: wealth, dharma, fame, character, knowledge, and dispassion. Withdrawing, in a way, is destroying all these glories available outside him. Actually, what happens is he absorbs all these within himself. When thus the total mind is withdrawn from its own self-willed projections, because the universe is nothing but a projection, manifestation, which happens because of his self-will. So when he withdraws these self-willed projections, the world of plurality appears to have been absorbed by the Lord within himself. So the Vishnu and Vishnu are no longer separate. The Vishnu gets absorbed in Vishnu. Actually, they were never separate. It was only a feeling, it was illusion, it was a perception that it was something different from Vishnu. The one who gives supreme delight to everybody is called Anandi. Anandi is one who gives delight. He gives delight because the Lord Himself is absolute bliss, absolute delight, absolute happiness. So, any devotee who moves towards Him in pure surrender, that is Sampurna Saranagati, naturally, automatically comes to share His divine nature of all bliss. That is why when we worship the Supreme, we worship Him, we chant His great qualities, these qualities will, at least to some extent, come to us. This is a very, very natural process, something like an induction effect. The name is sometimes read as Nandi. Instead of Anandi, if it is read as Nandi, Nandi indicates Lord Krishna, the son of Nandagopal, who grew up with Yashoda and Nandagopal, who were in a way foster parents. His biological parents were Devaki and Vasudeva. Yashoda and Nandagopal nurtured him, tended him with greatness of love throughout his childhood, right from practically from his birth till he left Mathura. He left for Mathura, maybe around the age of 8 or 9 years. Till then, they took care of him. Apart from being embodiment of inner delight, the Supreme is also beautiful to look at externally. For instance, he was always wearing the beautiful Vaijayanti Mala. That's what is called Vanamali. Vanamali is one wearing Vaijayanti Mala, not Vala. It is Vana. Vanamali. He is always found wearing the garland of leaves and flowers named Vaijayanti. These flowers are considered to represent the subtle aspect of the very fine elements themselves. We have the Panchabhutas, but the Panchabhutas themselves have emerged from the five Tanmatras. They are called Bhuta Tanmatras. So Bhuta Tanmatras, in a way, Vaidyantimala represents the Bhuta Tanmatras. The way he wears Vaidyantimala. Similarly, he also wears or bears the Hala Yudha as an ornament. Hala Ayudha. Hala means bow. Bow. Hala is one which is used in agriculture. So he is used the Hala Yudha in his manifestation as Balarama. Hala Ayudha is armed with plow. One who has the plow as his weapon, that is Balarama. Balarama or Balabhadra is the elder brother of Krishna. Balarama and Krishna were inseparable, not only in childhood but in later life also. They were always together. Balarama is considered to be an incarnation of Adisesha. In Ramayana, Adisesha manifested as Lakshmana, the younger brother of Rama. As the story goes, Rama told Lakshmana once that you have done so much service to me as my younger brother. In my next incarnation, I will serve you. You be the elder brother, and I'll be the younger brother. So it was Rama the elder and Lakshmana the younger in Ramayana, and it becomes Balarama the elder and Krishna the younger in Bhagavata Purana or Mahabharata time. Some also consider him as, because of this, Balarama is also listed in one of the incarnations of Mahavishnu. And Balarama is considered, his name is considered very sacred, very auspicious, very good in any agricultural activity. So many farmers in India take his name, invoke his name while plowing, while commencing the plowing, seeking a successful cultivation and a profitable harvest. In Jagannath Temple, Puri, Balarama and Subhadra are worshipped along with Krishna as Lord Jagannath. Like Balarama, Mahavishnu also manifested as Aditya. Aditya here means refers to the beautiful dwarf, Vatu, that is Vamana. Vamana was born to as son of Aditi and Kashyapa to rid the world from the problem being posed by Emperor Bali Chakravarti. And here Vamana was born much later than Indra. So he is considered to be Vasavanuja. He is considered to be younger brother of Indra. Vamana seeks 3 steps of ground from Bali. Emperor Bali was forewarned by his guru, Shukracharya. He knew, but even then, he knew the person standing before him is Mahavishnu. He said, what more do I want? If Mahavishnu himself is becomes a seeker before me, I am prepared to do everything, anything. So he promised the three steps. The moment he does that, Vamana immediately uh, transforms, expands into the Virat Rupa. In that awe-inspiring Virat Rupa form, he measures all the three worlds in three steps. Now, the name Aditya also refers to the sun god, the brightest object in the sky known to us. He is called Jyotihi Aditya. Jyotiraditya. Jyotiraditya is one, the same Supreme Mahavishnu residing in the sun is called Jyotiraditya. The Supreme actually, he, he represents, he denotes the resplendence in the sun. The brightness of the sun has come because of the grace of Mahavishnu. Now the Atman expressing itself as a glorious light and energy in the sun. This is what is meditated upon as Lord Vishnu. Gayatri Mantra also focuses on this particular aspect. Must meditate upon Vishnu, who is adorned fully, holding in his hands a conch and discus, sitting in Padmasana, enveloped in a golden hue, in the center of the orb of the sun. So this deity is also called Surya Narayana. Narayana residing in Surya. So deity residing in the disk of the sun is none other than Narayana himself. There is one more way we can understand this name. Aditya can be split into two words. At, that means Vishnu. Itya, to be obtained. That means all that we want can be obtained from Aditya. So hence Aditya means one from whom all creatures have to receive. He is a great grand giver. Through sun, he is a great grand giver. The sun is giving us all the light and warmth and shine, because of which only rain, clouds formation, fall of rain, change of seasons, everything happens only by the grace of sun. That is Mahavishnu. Now, since the resplendent consciousness is one indivisible whole, the Supreme can endure all dualities. He is called, therefore, he is called Sahishnuhu. Sahishnuhu, endurer of the dualities. Dualities is one with which we find we suffer heat and cold, joy and sorrow, happiness and unhappiness. So these things trouble us. Certainly not the Supreme Being. The Supreme Being is Sahishnu. He calmly endures all the pairs of opposites. Pairs of opposite cannot trouble him at any level. Whereas we, mortal beings, are troubled at the physical level as cold, heat and cold, at the mental level as joys and sorrows, at the intellectual level as disappointments and glories and happiness. So he is the one who transcends all pairs of opposites and thus is never influenced by these experiences of the which are confined to the mental, physical, and intellectual realms of the bodies, of the living beings, of the mortal beings. The state of non-duality which leads to supreme being is the best refuge. That means Gati Sattamaha. Gati Sattamaha is the best refuge, the ultimate refuge, the Param Dhamaha, ultimate destination for all seekers, for all devotees. So is the noblest path. Gati means both the goal and the path. Because the path also is equally important. Path is as significant as the final goal. So we always say ends and means. Means are as important as the end. In short, he is very essence of spiritual liberation. There's a very nice verse in Bhagavad Gita. Actually, chapter 7 starts with this verse. First verse of chapter 7. Mai asakta manaha partha, Mai asakta manaha partha, with your mind attached to me. Asakta manaha, attached. Mind attached to me. Me. Mai asakta manaha partha, yogam yunjan mat ashrayaha. Practice yoga. Yunjan yogam mat ashrayaha. Take refuge in me. If you do like this, then asamshayam, undoubtedly, samagramma, you will understand me fully. Asamshayam samagramma yatha jnasyasi tatshunu. Actually, this is the first introductory verse of this chapter. In this chapter, Paramatma tells us how we can attain him, how we can reach him, how we can understand him. For that, what he says is, Maya Sakta Manaha Partha Yogam Yunjan Matashthayaha Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yata Jnasyati Ashrunu. First line is very important. O Partha, with mind attached to me, practice yoga, taking refuge in me. You take refuge in me, you surrender to me, practice yoga with mind fully attached to me. Then he says, Asamshayam, without doubt, Samagram ma jnasyasi, you will know me fully. That you do hear. Tat no, listen to that. So what more is there? Very, very good advice given by Lord Krishna. This is a way we should chant Vishnu Sahasranama with full devotion, total faith, full attachment. That is mind not distracted by anything else. Okay, stop here. ॐ सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः